The Dutch housing market and real estate site Funda made it clear that when we put our old home up for sale and we're looking for a new home, all home seekers love the same homes and interiors. On closer inspection, the admiration for Charlie, who behaves in an average and normal way, is less strange, as for walking almost blindly with the current.
All these ruins ever remind me of.
Digital mass communication technology helps us to strengthen both sides, compliance to the herd and appreciation for the best. On TikTok, Facebook and Instagram, we can get to know and follow fashion to be part of the fold. In addition, we are also occasionally shown tremendous feats from individuals who might turn away from the herd, like Jonathan Livingston Seagull in the famous novel. So we see the movement from the middle of the food chain down to the herd and up to the lone wolf. Being biologically in the middle of the food chain means that we can go both ways. Down is identifiable, mass movements, fashion. Up is exciting. Sometimes things get mixed up, for example when a peaceful demonstration or competition turns into a riot. Unfortunately, it doesn't always matter if you are a villain, an artist or a genius at the top. Many dictators played their audiences as demagogues. A leading position in the herd is certainly based on chance. At the top, it's based on predispositions and chance, or on diabolical malice, like for example the perpetrator of a terrorist attack. The top is not for everyone, so let's be happy with our position in the middle. In a grassy meadow of luxury and comfort, there's simply not enough space for 7 billion predators on our planet. 7 billion, almost 8 billion Snow Whites, yearning for a kiss. On the internet, we post photos and videos in which we are made up in real time by smart algorithms and apps such as Snapchat and TikTok. Apps that allow us to literally move in the trailer of James Bond or another action hero. In addition, we post ready-made posts that only need to be shared, allowing us to communicate our moods and opinions. The few lines that we actually have to type ourselves are automatically corrected. We ourselves are automatically photoshopped and improved, also with auto-tune, autocorrect, etc., to the most acceptable version of ourselves given the most fashionable trends. Smart technology meets a need that has created the ever-expanding scale on which we express our existence. A bottle message in the ocean for anyone who just wants to read, watch or actually just consume. But the sad implicit message is that we are not only lonely, but also not good enough without all this smart technology. Our virtual upgraded versions of ourselves seems unbeatable in reality. But are they? Of course not. We crave attention with our posts, but as long as we only see the version of ourselves optimized by smart technology in our miracle mirror, we are kept away from our real selves and the real needs of the others. Some lucky vloggers manage to gain 1 million followers with their daily small talk vlogs and then become millionaires as teenagers. My daughter spent hours a day watching such bottle messages from girls chatting about playing the Star Stable app, for instance. Because these girls get a lot of followers, it's a snowball effect that can arise by chance. They are approached by marketeers of various brands. From that moment on, they are used, actually framed as influencers, as living and well-paid advertising pillars of brands. However, that life is still virtual and, like pacifier, will ultimately fail to satisfy the need for nourishment and fulfillment. Therefore, followers and influencers are alike in important ways, all screaming to be seen, sleeping beauties in an endless dream. By moving from the big city to the countryside, My wife and I sort of escaped. Our daughter now has a real horse and she spent fewer hours a day on her smart devices. According to the current building regulations, our house could never be built in the present time. But of course, this is no real escape. I am surprised about it, even more from here. Doesn't anyone see what a horrible uniformity we have begun to create worldwide? Doesn't anyone see that we would be much better off if we were really connected and focused on each other instead of learning to frame each other through rules and protocols? With our machinations, we have created a scale on which there are only hungry people. Almost 8 billion Snow Whites, male, female or other, yearning for a kiss.
In the dead of night,
get ready for a smart world. The world is changing. While we are concerned about which party we have to vote for, we do not realize that not eligible parties increasingly determine what we do most, the high-tech multinationals. In fact, we organize our education in such a way that we can adapt to their products optimally. From an early age, we teach our pupils to work with the products of manufacturers like Microsoft, Google, Apple, Samsung and Facebook. In their slogans, they often claim that they shape and produce our future, and indeed they do. Even in higher education, too easily smart is understood as being well adapted to the products of the tech giants. And because of globalization, these multinationals do have the politicians in their power, including those on whom we vote. What's up with that? To start with the latter, if a large technology multinational or bank doesn't like the choices of politicians, it can move its head office or the production lines to a country where the political climate is perceived as more favorable. The ambitions of multinationals are literally limitless. Not only they are the secular rulers who marginalize democracy, they also leave behind traces of social consequences, loss of employment, unemployment, etc., if they leave a region, putting the burden on the shoulders of the local societies and populations. Politicians can never do well. They get the blame if a large company moves its business to another country. They should have created a better political climate. But if the company is bribed to stay by adapting the regulations, it is also their fault, because they do not limit the power of these multinationals. In Western Europe, our ambition is to be a knowledge economy. That is why we want to keep our top talents in this region. But top engineers, technicians, economists easily disappear with the multinationals, high-tech, banks, etc. They follow the multinationals who are guided by their opportunistic pursuit of the most favorable political climate. Closing the borders, Brexit, Nexit, is a possibility at the risk of putting the country out of the business economically. Nevertheless, politicians remain credible and stand up for democracy and against the restrained power of multinationals. In my opinion, a simpler solution is available. Investing both in art and culture, and even more in education, healthcare and construction. Since time immemorial, art has been the conscience of generations. Although art forms are among the first signs of human civilization, art as a reflection on human action is also very important, especially now. It holds a mirror to society and asks questions. Why do we do what we do? Why don't we see that using more technology doesn't automatically make us happier? Art teaches us that sometimes less is more. Investing in education, healthcare and construction is investing in local economy and society. At least if education perceives Get Ready for a Smart World, the credo of Saxion University, as more than an uncritical adaptation to the latest products of the high-tech multinationals. Getting ready for a smart world should be a social enterprise with art, reflection and meaning in the heart of society, side by side with Google and social healthcare. We should care for each other. There are also many top talents in the care sector. tied to local communities, for example in hospitals, nursing homes and other care centers. That's how to keep top talents in that regions. Anyway, ICT skills are often mentioned as one of the main objectives of modern education. However, this isn't as obvious as it sounds. Unless ICT skills are equal to learning to recognize and deal with the social and psychological consequences of an uncritical acceptance of the dogma technology is good. Take note, technology and future are often mentioned in advertisements in one breath. Getting ready for a smart world is more than a technical matter. In fact, it's primarily a social matter. Again, in their marketing activities, tech multinationals often share that technology is the future. Of course, technology has brought great benefits in addition to potential threats. But why do even educational institutions and universities seem to be so uncritical in strengthening the powers of the most powerful?
To repeat with no end, lose another friend, it just hurts. It peace that rose from democracy, like a